Hello, so welcome to the review for week 4. I've been so busy, I really wasn't able to meet up, so I'm just going to do this right now. And I hope you're going to pick a thing or two from this. Okay, let's get right into it. So we're going to take off what we have on the screen. Or better still, let's just go back to, yeah, let's take all of this off so that we start on the tabula rasa. Okay, so this is week 5 live. So just to have that there, I'm gonna take it off. Okay, so good, we're clear. Now we're gonna take this back to Monday. Monday, that was 22nd of January. Yes, 6:30. So let's take it there, and as usual we start on the 4 hour, so 240 minutes. Perfect. So now this is what we have on the 4 hour. So as usual, we're going to draw our structure, what we have going on here. So we have this, right? So yeah, we have that. And let's draw our demand supply zone here. So we draw this extreme supply. Very unlikely for price to get there. Based on what we have here, what we have going on here, but yeah, we have that already drawn. So here we have a sweep of liquidity on the 4 hour. So that created a sweep zone for us. So now we have the sweep zone. So just gonna draw that out, making our life so easy. So with that said, we have all of this going on. So we have this here, which is a break of structure to the downside. So a break of structure to the downside. So price seems to be pulling back all the way here. So we know that the market, with this price action, we know the market is bullish, is bearish rather. Now price is pulling back up. Expectedly, price should get to this area, and then we get a continuation bearish order flow. But then we have no idea if price is going to get there or price is going to react from here and then sell off. So all we need to do is to simply follow price action. So we go to the 50 minutes to look for structure, and then we simply trade what the market gives us. So the high time frame structure is that we know that the 4 hour is bearish. So essentially, this was the last low that was registered, right? So this is where the money is at on the 4 hours. So this was the last low registered. Price is pulling back. We expect that that price would continue, and if price should continue down to the downside, then this low should eventually go. But when that's going to happen, we have no idea. So we just have to, look at structure on the 50 minutes and simply trade what the 50-minute time frame gives us. So with that said, now we're coming into the new week with a clear bias as to what the market is doing and what we're looking at. So now the market is pushing to the upside. We know that, but we know that the major trend is the bearish, is in the bearish direction. So we're not expecting to swing, bullish trend or something. No, we're super clear on what we're looking at, and we know exactly what we need to see. So with this now said, another thing you also need to pay attention here is that you can see here the price sort of swept that high but failed to close above it, right? So the 4 hour candle failed to close above this. So if we see a bearish order flow, all we need to do is we're going to take that bearish order flow, because you can see here the price tried to take out this high, took it out, but failed to close above it, convincingly telling us the momentum is sort of slowing down, and we may get that bearish continuation. So coming into Monday was quickly what we're seeing. So let's go to 15 minutes and let's try to draw structure also there. So now on the 15 minutes, let's look at what we have here. So clearly we can see on the 15 minutes we've had let's just draw this. So we can draw this here. Let's take this candle, right? So that's 15 minutes break of structure to the downside. A clear order flow was in place, and then we also had this clear order flow. So we could see that the market was trending downwards. However, after this low was registered, the market pulled and pulled back and took out this high, all of these highs here, and eventually we had that, right? Now price tried to take out this low but failed to do so, returned, tapped into it, and is pulling back essentially to there's a and pullback, not that it's pulling back, actually pullback. So what we see here is essentially we had here, this was the first change of character, right? Or break of structure, if you want to consider it that way, because essentially the previous high was taken out. So that's essentially a break of structure. So now price pull back all the way to this area. Let's draw this last candle out. Price pull back all the way to this area, and then from here, price targeted the previous high. So this was the previous high. And you can see that's also a break. That's a break of structure in the 50 minutes. So after price took out the previous high, returned to tap into this demand zone, and then from this demand zone we had a push, to the upside, right? So now with this, clearly we can see that this high has been taken out. So what do we expect? Well, the extreme of this leg is basically, this is the last candle down. So what do we expect now with this type of price action? We expect that price is going to sell off, at least tap into this, and if we're going to have a continuation bullish momentum, then price should go, we should target this previous high. But there is something we need to bear in mind, and what we need to bear in mind is that this previous high is actually counter trend. So in as much as we would love to target this, we have to be very conservative in our approach, understanding that this is not the direction of the major trend on the 4-hour. And let's just go back to the 4-hour again to look at it. So on the 4-hour here, clearly you can see that we have a bearish order flow, sweep of liquidity, price pushed, down, and then here we're having another sweep of liquidity, price is failing to close above this. So we know that this is counter trend, and when you're trading counter trend, don't have so much high expectation in terms of I want to swing, I want to go this, I want to go that. You have to be super conservative, because the major trend is the other direction. So if your trade is in the direction of the trend, then you can hold the trade for longer time, all right, or longer. So let's go back to the 50 minutes again. So here we go. So with that now in mind, we're super clear to what we're looking at. So with this, for me, coming into the market, Monday, excuse me. So coming into the market on Monday, I know what I'm looking at, and I know that I'm going to trade, the counter trend if I see a bearish chalk, and with that, we can take trades essentially. So coming into the market, I would love to see this low gets taken out, So if this low gets taken out, essentially I would love to go short. So let's take this and see. Okay, so we have that price has failed to really close below it. So let's see if we're gonna get that. So we're looking for a bearish chalk essentially. So now price is still failing to close below that area. Let's see if we're gonna get it. Okay, so at last we got it, and this is what time? This is 8:45. Now with this, we know that the market is bearish, right? Now, if you look at this, let's be super clinical. You can look at this. This is a sweep of the high, price swept the high, giving us a sweep of liquidity, right? And now with that, we now have a sweep zone. We can draw this. Okay, so with this now, break of chalk, bearish chalk, now we expect a retest and then a continuation to the downside. So we're just going to do this. Put our stop around that area, 7 pips, and we're going to target 1 to 3. Okay, so let's just target 1 to 3. So we're hoping that price is actually going to give us what we're looking for, right? So let's see. Oops. So you can see came close, but we're far off. So price did not really tag us in, and that was it. Okay, so no hard feelings. What do? We simply just follow the market and trade what the market is giving us. So here we have a continuation order flow. So this wasn't tagged. So for me, I'm going to do two things. One is I'm going to target, put a trade here to target the low, but at the same time, I'm going to leave this in place. So let's see what we get. So still 1 to 3, right? That target. I'm going to just leave it like that. Let's see. So this is New York session. So hoping that during New York session we get something, and exactly that. So New York session, we got that, and it was a simple continuation, what now setup, right? So simple continuation setup. So here we have liquidity. So sweep of liquidity. No, sorry. That was our target, right? So Yeah, so we got that. So with this, you can see price pullback, continuation pullback during New York session, and we had that continuation. So this effectively played out, and we ended the day with a +3, right? So I hope this makes sense. You can see we had a clear bias as to what we're looking forward to the market doing. The first trading during London session was wanted to see that bearish order flow, and then once we saw the bearish order flow, we positioned to take the trade. Unfortunately, the trade came close, but we did not get tagged in. Of course, we're not going to chase price. Price, we waited for New York session, continuation structure, retest, and then continuation, and that was it, right? And of course, this is in line with the fact that we knew that because we've had this high taken out, the market is bearish, and after this has been taken out, it was likely the price was either going to push to the upside, or we're gonna have that pullback to this demand zone before we get the push to the upside. So we took advantage of that knowledge, and we took, this trade, and that was it for Monday. So with this said, we can now go to Tuesday. So Tuesday, let's go to 7 a.m. already. Okay, so there we go. Now this is Tuesday, so clearly you can see here that after all of this price action, price did not return all the way here, and price seems to be pushing to the upside, right? So this unmitigated demand here now, price has tapped into it. Now two things, right, are likely to happen here. One, we can see, because we know that the market is predominantly bearish, right? But we also do know that price may push to the upside before we get that, bearish order flow. So price is reacting to this area here, by the way. You can see, you can draw that very, yeah, price almost taps into the zone, but did not really tap into it. So price is essentially reacting to this sweep zone. It's also a sweep zone. I just hope this makes sense. If, of course, this you're watching this and you're seeing this for the first time, this is essentially the stock and profit strategy. And if you want to learn how to do this, of course, you can join the program. Okay, so yeah, we have that. So price taps into this, and price is pushing to the upside. But I do know, or we do know, the price is bearish, right? The structure, the 4-hour structure is bearish. So we know that even though price is pushing to the upside, this is London session opening. If we get a bearish chalk, we're going to take the bearish momentum. So for me, I'm still going to chill and wait and see. If we get a bearish order flow, then we're going to go short. Okay, so clearly price has taken out that high. So essentially now we have this break of structure. Okay, so we have the break of structure. And then what are we looking at? Let's go to the 4-hour and see what we have going on. So now on the 4-hour, you can see clearly that price now has returned to take out this high, and now we have on the 4-hour a break of structure. If you look at that very well, now, yeah, a break of structure. So after a break of structure, what do we expect next? We expect a pullback, right? So we go to the 50 minutes, and then we look for that, just that. All right, so price has really pulled back. So here you can see we have a bearish chalk. Okay, so with this now, we can put our short position here. I'm going to target that same 1, 2, 3, right? Let's see if it works. Okay, price, left without tagging us in, and that's perfectly okay. So came close, still not too close anyways, but we didn't get an entry, and that's perfectly okay. Now you can decide to say, okay, because I've seen this bullish order flow, I want to take a trade from here. I'm just gonna say you have to be cautious and you have to be careful, because the 4-hour structure, even though here you can see that we just had oh sorry, not that. On the 4-hour structure, 240 minutes, we just had this break of structure to the upside. But you have to also understand that the market after break of structure will pull back, and if we're going to get a continuation, we'll need to wait for an additional confirmation of a bearish order flow, bullish order flow, to go long. So after break of structure, price is pulling back, so we simply ride the pullback, okay, until it fails. And we know, of course, that the swing structure is still bearish anyway, so we don't anticipate that we're going to get any serious long position until the order flow really changes. Okay, so there we go. So now London session, we did not get an entry, so essentially for me, I'm going to leave this in place and see if it works out, if we get an entry. Apparently not. Okay, so that is that. Okay, let's see. We're coming to London session now. That's what we're gonna have in London session. No real supply zone around here for me to mark except this extreme one. So if price comes back here, kudos, but very unlikely that was gonna happen during New York session, except to get a bearish order flow. So perfect. Now we have a bearish order flow here, as you can see. Now, why are we going to take this trade? We're going to take this trade simply because we know for certain that the market, the 4-hour structure is bearish. Sorry, am I correct? Let's go to 40 minutes. Oops. So we know that the 4-hour structure, bearish structure, is bearish, right? So even though price is pulling to this, to the upside, we know that we're essentially at any point in time where the momentum changes to the bearish order flow, we're simply going to take, that bearish order flow, right? So let's go back to the 50 minutes. So with that said, now we're going to draw, this here. So now, because this is New York session, the likelihood of us getting that, of price returning all the way here and continuing, it's really, really slim. So all we just need to do is see if we can get a 1 2 3 first, based on how, of course, we trade the market, and let's see what we get. Okay, so if price at all returns here, we expect that, price is going to tap us in, and then we get that continuation. So is that going to happen? I have no idea. This is already, almost 5, and that's it. So we're done. So 2 of our trades, essentially did not get tagged in, sadly, and this happens every now and then, but it's perfectly okay. So we don't rush, we don't fight the market, we simply look for another opportunity. So let's take this to Wednesday. Okay, so 6:30. So perfect. Now we're here Wednesday, 6:30. So this is what we're looking at, right? So what do we do again? We repeat the same thing over and over again. Now let's look at the 4-hour. Now clearly on the 4-hour, we have here a break of structure to the downside, right? So telling us that price is ready to sell off, right? So, and that gives us, this is our previous high now, this was a previous low, our new low, and price is pulling back. So when price is pulling back, what do? We trade the pullback, but we also do bear in mind that eventually price would continue in the direction of the major trend. So we draw this out. This is a 4-hour POI. So if price taps into it, we would want to see a bearish order flow, bearish chalk, before we trade that continuation to the downside. So let's go to 50 minutes. So in the 50 minutes here, we have this. So let's see if we're going to get a bearish order flow, right? Okay, price is taking out this guy, which is okay. Now, something we need to understand is if you really want to be aggressive, because the price is likely to push into this area, you can, be really aggressive and actually take a long position, but you do know that at any point in time, price may reverse on you, right? So that's something you have to bear in mind. So, but something about price and time that you have to bear in mind is that the times when price is just going to perfectly coincide with time, and you can literally just take advantage of opportunities like that, okay, when the market presents it. So let's draw this. So we have this like this. So this is with the assumption that we want to trade into this wall, right, into this area. So with that, we can put our entry here, our stop loss below this area here, and then we can target our 1 2 3 still. Okay, so let's go. Nice. You see that? That's literally in one candle, 9:30, one candle, and I 1 2 3 perfectly, in place. We got that. Okay, so now price, London session, we've got this. So now price has tapped into this, POI, this 4-hour POI. So what are we expecting? Well, we're expecting that if we get a bearish order flow, then we can take that bearish order flow and target, you know, this our swing low. Okay, and I'm going to show you a few things here. So with that now, let's look at what the market is going to give us. Cool. Bearish order flow is all we're interested in, right? All right, so now with this, let's zoom in closer. So here we have this bearish chalk. Okay, so that now creates for us this. It's a massive stuff. I'm not even sure how to draw this, but you can see this is a very large candle. So of course I'm not going to take the entire candle because I want to take a trade. Price tapped into this guy, so I'm not going to take the entire candle simply because I want to take a trade. So we can of course decide to put our entry maybe at the middle or somewhere, you know, close to where our stop loss is going to be, and then we're going to target a 1 to 3, the same thing, right? So let's see what we get. Damn. Okay, so this is interesting. This is actually our first loss, you know, for the week, right? Trading, you know, since we started trading from Monday, and that's perfectly okay. So no problem. So now this is New York session. So with New York session now, we see if we're gonna get anything. But yeah, if we get a bearish order flow, we can take positions. Until then, we stay calm. Okay, so now this is a bearish order flow. Why are we trying to trade this bearish order flow? Now there's something in terms of trying to catch when the trend ends, and this is something that sometimes could be hurting. And one of the best ways to not be you know, to not fall victim of you know, like you're trying to catch a falling knife, or you're trying to catch a rising plane, something like that. Nothing's gonna happen. It's just gonna take you out of the way, right? So for you not to be a victim of something like this, you can't wait for the order flow to change. So not just after the chalk, you want to see an eyeballs or maybe a trend, you know, that literally the market has changed, you know, has shifted, and then you can now go short, right? But also that also comes with some cons, because sometimes the market may not give you the opportunity to enter, you know, after the order flow is already in place. The market would have been long gone before you get an opportunity to enter. So you just have to trade. It's literally just a trade-off. You decide how you want to trade, how you want to take advantage of these opportunities, based on your trading style and also your risk appetite. Okay, so with this now, let's go to 4 hours so we can see clearly what's happening here. This 4 hour POI has been taken out, so we can take it out. So with this, all we're interested in now, price is pushing to the side. If we get a bearish order flow, we're still going to take that bearish trade, right? So let's do that. Okay, so now we have this. So I'm going to put our stop loss above this area, and then we're going to target again 1 to 3, right? Let's see what the market gives us. Okay, this is past 5, so effectively we're not looking for trades again. So no trades, 1 loss on Thursday, no. On Wednesday we took 1 win, and then we took 1 loss during New York session. And yeah, so this takes us to Thursday rather. So now Thursday, 6:45, perfect time. Let's look at a few things here. So we have here this low, price is taking it out. We have this extreme here, but also we have a flip zone. So you can see here the price sold off, reacted to this area here, flipped, and then continued to the downside. So with that now, we can look at this. This was a sweep of that high, thus creating a sweep zone for us. So now we have a sweep zone. So with this, for me, we're gonna have 2 entries, 1 here. Okay, target at 1 to 3 still, and then we're gonna have another one here just in case the first one fails. This one should hold, right? That's the entire idea of, you know, this type of you know, entry, right? So we don't just want to leave money on the table, because sometimes you can say, okay, I don't want to take a trade from here, I want to wait for price to get here. But more often than not, price is not really going to just pull back all the way there, you know, especially when this coincides with time and price, London open, New York open, and all of that. So okay, so we have that. So London open, let's see if we're gonna get an entry. Hopefully we did. Yeah, we did. Ooh. Yep, and that was around 2 p.m. During New York session. So eventually we got an entry. So essentially that means this one did not wasn't, or it's not necessary, or wasn't necessary at all. And that was it. So this was our first profit for Thursday, and also it's New York session. So what do we do? We'll most likely be wrapping up for the day. So, but let's just draw this across. Okay, so with this now, price tapped into that. We now have a new supply zone. So we're going to draw that across. So perfect. So with that now, we can expect a continuation setup. But for this, I'm not going to put my entry at the edge here because it's too large. So I'm going to put something like here, 10 pips, thereabout, and then 1, 2, 3. Let's see if at all price is going to get back all the way there. Okay. So it's end of day and price did not return all the way there. So we take it out. All right. Simple stuff, guys. So I hope you're able to see how this is just simply following the order flow, right? Nothing more, nothing less. So let's take this to Friday by 6. Okay, 7:30. So now Friday by 6, where are we? We know that the next point of call for price is here. So we're expecting this low to get taken out. But when is it going to take out? Is it going to get taken out? We have no idea, right? So with this now, you can see here that we really don't have any structure here. We just have a bunch of consolidation. Okay, we actually have something here. So you can see here we have a bearish chalk. Price is trying to push to the downside. Where's this? Yes. So price essentially trying to push to the downside right here. So with that, we can position ourselves and say, okay, let's take this trade. I'll stop above this area just to protect us. And then our target, that's actually 1 to 2. So usually we want to get at least 1 to 3, right? No matter what. So let's see if price for some reason respects us and says, okay, these are venture traders, let's respect them and give them some money. All right, so price is gone without us again, no entry, and that's perfectly okay. So with this now, we're still gonna have the same high here for me, right? And we're still gonna put our trade entry just around there, our stop loss around there, and then 1 to 3 thereabouts. So let's see if price respects us. So because you're trading stock in profit strategy, I gotta give him some money. Ooh, okay. So the market took money from us instead of giving us money. Okay, so that's okay. Anyways, we follow structure, we traded structure, the market did what it did, no problem, no hard feelings, all is well and all is good. All is well that ends well, essentially. So that is that for Friday. So let's see if at all we're gonna get another structure to trade. So with this now, 11 a.m. London session is past. Now we're coming to New York session. So now that we're coming to New York session, what are we expecting? Now, we have this area here. This area is also a sweep zone, by the way. If you look at this candle here, you can see the price swept that high, right? Liquidity sweep, creating a sweep zone for us. So with this type of price action, for me, I'm gonna say right here, stop above that area, but 19 pips is too much for me. So I usually say let's take it to maybe like 10 pips thereabout, right? Okay, so let's target again at 1 to 3 and let's see if we get that price action on Friday. So New York session, price is doing its thing. So you can see here that there was a flip. Whoa, excuse me. So you can see here that there was a red folder news rather that came out. Price and just swept this high, swept this low, and it's just around here. So with this type of price action, we may get price push all the way here, but most often than not, sometimes we may not get that action. So let's see what we're gonna get. Let's look for a bearish order flow before we enter any position, right? So we have it, thankfully. So look at this. Okay, so with this now, since price did not return here, so let's just take that out of the picture. So we're gonna take a trade here. stop around the area. And let's say I remember this trade. I took this trade and actually held it all through the weekend. So yeah, I shared that with the community. Okay, so that's it. And there we go. So Friday we got in New York session. You can see price just doing its thing, just testing our patience. The by the way, the week ended here. Yeah, so the week ended here, but eventually the market sold off. As Monday came in into the picture, and we secured our 1 to 3 opportunity. Yeah. Okay, and that was it. So we got our 1 to 3 straight in the bag. And those, ladies and gentlemen, were the trades for the week of the 4th, the 4th week of 2024. I hope you've been able to pick a thing or two from this. So just before we wrap up, let's do an analysis of all the trades we took and eventually what our return, was like. Now, one thing you're going to take note of here, week 4, what's the date again? I'm going to look that up. One thing you're going to take note of here is that we only targeted 1 to 3, right? Nothing more, nothing less, okay? Now, depending on how you trade, you can target more, but I'm going to tell you something that, most often than not, those who target so much, a lot of times leave money on the table because you're trying to get tight stop losses, you're trying to, get all of the sniper entries and all of these things. And a lot of times you may leave yourself frustrated, because you may actually leave a lot of trades on the table if you're not careful. So, yeah, so we're satisfied with 1 to 3. At the end of the day, we make the most important thing is that when you profit, right? And that's all that matters. So, first trade on Monday, nothing happened. Second trade, we got a 1 to 3. So, let's record that. Plus 3R. And that was it. Then on Tuesday, we had what? On Tuesday, this trade, we didn't get anything. On did New York session still, we got nothing, and that was it. On Wednesday, we had a 1 to 3 during London session. Plus 3R during London session. And again, we also had, we took a loss here, I think, yeah. So we took a -1R there. And then here we had no trade setup, and that was it for the day. Then on Thursday, this Wednesday, by the way, then on Thursday, we had during New York session, right? We had price pull all the way here, price tapped into this, and we had our 1 to 3. So we had a plus 3R, right? And then what happened next? On Friday, am I correct? Yes. On Friday, we had, just having some distraction. I'm wondering what's happening. Price, all my alerts are just going, just going off. Anyway, so we had here price, took us out here. So on Friday, we took a loss, -1R. And then after that, we took another win here, which was plus 3R. So plus 3R. And that was it. So total RR for us was +3. Here we had 0 trades, so +3, 6, minus this 5, plus this 8, minus this 7, plus this 10, so 10R. Just targeting 1 to 3, guys. Okay, this is massive stuff. Okay, by whatever standards. And this is, of course, if you're looking at longevity in your trading, and you don't want to just be all over the place trying to, suit whatever. Just be realistic with yourself. Okay, this is amazing result by all standards. So guys, I hope this has been beneficial to you. You've picked a thing or two from this. If you are not part of the Stocking Profit community and you want to join the community, please do not hesitate to utilize the promo we have going on. I think you have the Stocking Profit promo code that you can use to get 10% off. And I look forward to seeing you in the program. It's been a pleasure sharing with you. Cheers and see ya. Bye-bye.